Palestinians in Kafr Malik hold funerals for 3 of their own on Thursday, a day after Jewish settlers attacked the West Bank village in their dozens as the residents tried to defend themselves. As the cleanup continued, they say they were taken by surprise. No fewer than 70 to 80 settlers took part. They entered the area and scattered among most of the houses within 5 minutes. At first, they started with the car, broke the windows, and then burned it. A settler came to the house here. The window shutter was open. He broke the glass and threw a firebomb. There was a 1-month-old baby girl sleeping in the bed. Last week, more than 100 Israeli settlers launched a violent attack on Palestinians in the West Bank in the town of Kafr Malik, setting property on fire and even shooting at Palestinians who tried to stop them from doing so. Now, right-wing Israeli violence in the West Bank has gone so far that they have even begun attacking Israeli security forces in the area. And before we get to all the details about that unbelievable twist, we do have to start with the settlers' horrific attack on this town where at least 7 illegal settler outposts have gone up in recent months. And I just want to remind you all that the Israeli government even announced some months ago, I think it was last month, that they intend on building 22 new illegal settlements in the West Bank. So, we shouldn't be surprised by any of this. This was already pre-announced. This is a plan that's been in the works. They're going to annex the entirety of the West Bank. That's what they plan to do. That's Miriam Maiden's plan. She's the one that bribed Donald Trump. Her family's bribed him, I'm sorry, giving campaign contributions of $337 million. So that's how bribery works in America. I'm going to go off on the settlers in a second, who are pretty much the worst people on earth. Okay. So, let's get to some of these details. So, dozens of Israelis descended on this village near Rala by foot and in vehicles. The attackers hurled Molotov cocktails and set homes and cars on fire. They allegedly tried to break into people's homes. I don't even want to say allegedly because there's video evidence of it, right? A firebomb was thrown into a bedroom where a newborn was being put to sleep. Luckily, the mom and baby survived that attack. And soon after the attack began, Israeli forces arrived and opened fire at Palestinians instead of going after the rioters, the settlers. They accused villagers of shooting at them, which no witnesses corroborated, very likely because it's untrue. And the soldiers killed 3 people according to the Palestinians. I'm sorry, the Palestinian Health Ministry. A 35-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a 15-year-old. Now remember, we're talking about the West Bank. We're not talking about Gaza here. So the West Bank was not governed by Hamas. So you can't argue that Hamas is using people as human shields in this case. But the fact that any of these terrorists were held even slightly accountable infuriated the settlers, and so they set off a chain of confrontations between them and Israeli security forces in the area. Soldiers shot and wounded an Israeli teenager on Friday during a clash with the settlers. So let's get into those details in just a minute. First, brief comment from Cenk. Yeah, so I was debating an Israeli supporter on a program called Counterpoints earlier today, and he started describing this apocalyptic religious zealots who wouldn't hesitate to kill civilians. And I'm like, you mean Israeli settlers? Because he was talking about theoretically the Iranian regime, but Iran is not starting wars. Israel is starting wars. But it's always projection. So, these settlers are nuts. They're religious zealots and they think that God gave them that land. So, they get to murder the Palestinians on the land to take it because God whispered in their ear about how they murder, and it's okay. God's on your side and they're just Palestinians. Murder their babies. They're terrorists. And they came in to steal the land in the first place. And they say, no. We're not stealing it 'cause it's Judea and Samaria. Anyone who says Judea and Samaria is basically saying, I'm a terrorist who'd like to steal Palestinian land and I don't mind murdering Palestinians to do it. Because there is no other explanation for, hey, the entire international community says West Bank and Gaza Strip should be part of a 2-state solution and become independent Palestine. And the settlers go, no, I want the land 'cause my murderous God in their fantasies said that I should murder the Muslims and take their land. But bye.